Have you been riding the waves of your spiritual awakening only to feel exhausted, inflamed, and like your body just can't keep up? I want you to know you're not alone in this idea that going through ascension is taxing on the body. And some people feel that their body breaking down is a sign that they're off path. And I want you to know that this is only just a sacred invitation for you to come home to the body, to create the vessel for your body to support your light. Hello, my name is Dr. Harmony, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when all my content comes live. And I've been an Ascension mentor and a wellness strategist helping light workers, twin flames embody their light. For over the last 30 years as a background in chiropractic, I've been guiding people to integrate their wellness within their body, their mind, their heart, and their soul. And through my own experience, I really feel guided to come here and to share a series of content and videos that is Embodied Ascension. And today we're going to talk about something that most people don't tell you, and that is like the dark side of the spiritual awakening. Your spirit might be soaring, but if your body's crashing, your path will eventually collapse. I'll never forget the moment when a follower here on Facebook had messaged me after I had done a promotion and posted a photo about the retreat I was promoting here in Sedona, actually. And she said, "I love you, but why are you using that photo? You look exhausted." And she was right. And what she didn't know is that I was still recovering from COVID during that time. And while I had the virus, this was not just the virus. The virus cracked open part of me that needed to dump out even more trauma. And I thought I had already healed at that point, but the whole process fried my nervous system. And I was beyond inflamed, fatigued, foggy. My body really felt like it didn't even belong to me anymore because it really took me out of alignment with my physical physique and my strength and my ability to be physically fit. And the worst part was I knew the signs of adrenal burnout, and I'd spent years helping other people through that process, and even people with the ascension symptoms. And I had decades of experience in my chiropractic and wellness clinic called Healthy Solutions. But this time, it was me lying on the floor. It was me who couldn't get out of bed because I'd helped people get out of bed and back to work, even through fibromyalgia for many years. So it was me who had to admit to myself that even after waking up all this light and being this spiritual being, that I was the one running on empty and flat out exhausted on every level. So let's take a minute and talk about what really happens during your spiritual awakening. So we hear about, the light codes and the DNA upgrades and the trauma releases, but no one really tells you about what it costs you on a physical plane. But what I'll tell you is, I'm sure you can agree with this, and if you do, make sure to let me know in the comments. It's like running spiritual marathons every day. There's no nourishment that's being absorbed into the body, even if you're eating right. There's no sleep to be had because you're woke up every night, night after night, just with these downloads, upgrades. The energy system is just activating constantly. And there's definitely no grounding, and you're not in your body. So even then, for me personally, the symptoms I was brushing off as just ascension flu, where actually it was more of the adrenal burnout, and my nervous system had collapsed, and I had massive inflammation throughout my entire body. And when you have that much inflammation, constriction, resistance in the body and the nervous system, that's really just unprocessed energy that's stuck and not able to move. So one of the key things that's so important to understand is your physical body is not separate from your awakening. It's the foundation of it. And what a lot of people do is they almost beat themselves up after going through these cycle after cycle after cycle, and then they're like, I don't feel good. I should, try to force yourself to get up and get out there and do something, and you don't feel like it. And I know at the beginning of my ascension journey, I literally almost couldn't get out of bed for the first 2 years. And I've worked with a lot of clients who've had these similar symptoms and situations. But the bottom line is your nervous system is fried. And your intuition can't function in that state of being. And therefore, if your adrenals are depleted, you can't even hold the frequency that you're trying to connect to, or that you're trying to call in, or that you're trying to support in your physical state. And what too many people do is get stuck on the clearing. I need to clear, clear, clear. But that's not it anymore. You need to rebuild your body from the foundation up to hold and support that light. And if you continue to clear, you're just digging a deeper hole that's taking down the same rabbit hole to repeat the same cycles of burnout. So even with my background, I had reached this state of not sure if I'd ever return to normal. But I began to shift my focus to knowing I needed to get back in my body, that I needed to desensitize my sensory system that was on overload. So I started doing some very basic things. And that's one of the things I used to teach as a chiropractor was a series of classes, 8 weeks, 1 week off. And I repeated that for 3 years. And it's how I built my practice. And that was 8 weeks to optimal health. But the ultimate part of that is we need to get back to the basics of what we need to truly support the foundation of our spirit. And so that means we might need to shift our focus from light codes to liver support. We might need to shift from the emotional clearing to cellular cleansing, to cleanse out the things that are stuck in your physical body. I know the lymph system gets stuck and it needs drained, it needs flushed. So doing a lymphatic drain very frequently is good during this time. We also need to go from chasing these higher dimensions just to anchoring this dimension and begin to live in this reality. And I was clear on the fact, I even told a friend one time a few years ago, I think I'm ODing on spirituality. And my whole system was just lit up. And I knew that it wasn't like I needed another download to save me, or all of the spiritual work was not going to fix this inside of me. It was something I needed that was a deeper, more nourishment into my physical state, my physical being, my physical strength, my physical vitality. So aside from just meditation and journaling and reflecting and all those things, my body needed minerals and hydration and electrolytes, and also breath work really helped to get the oxygen into the tissues, and really starting to learn what my body was saying and what it had been trying to tell me basically all along. And now what I can tell you is I've been working on this in the background. I've been talking about it for years about some of the things I've been doing. But what I can tell you is I feel the best I've probably ever felt in my life. And my nervous system is finally regulated, and I sleep better than I've ever slept in my entire life. And for those of you who maybe followed me through COVID, I didn't sleep for 10 straight days, and it was very traumatizing to my entire being and entire system. And so my energy feels really consistent, very sustainable, and there's no more of that manic connection to this constantly all over the place, or that I'm crashing throughout the day. I'm really just showing up and being present, very consistent in every area of my life. And if this sounds familiar to you, having the brain fog, the emotional reactivity, the fatigue, then that not even green juice will fix, or you're feeling off, but you can't explain it. I want you to know this is your body waving this white flag and saying, it's time to listen. And I got to tell you, 30 years ago, I was working on a way to help people going through these things back then. And at that time, I was staying up the weekend nights at my office trying to build a website and create this assessment to take people through a process of checking their status of their wellness and what their body needed. And I even kept supplements in my office, and I would support people through the nutritional sustainment of nutrients, because even with the best diet and nutrition in the world, the soils are still depleted. There are things we still need. And the more stress you're under, the more you need it. And the way I would describe this back then is I would talk about that, if you're driving on highway miles, you get better gas mileage than in town where you stop and start, right? The stop and starting is all the stress that's added on your body. It means you need more of the nutrients than ever before, especially what your body's going through, even just physically, and the transformation of that. to support the light as those DNA codes shift from 2-stranded DNA to 12-stranded DNA. And I have some videos you can check out on Twin Flame Ascension. I'll put a link above and below to check out that series, because I've talked about what our bodies go through as we transition through this process to upgrade our DNA. So this has been on my radar to bring back this program, to share more about this kind of content for a while. But I was still going through it myself. I was still rebuilding. And most importantly, as I do always, I come forth with resources, tools, tips, techniques, and things that you can use to also support you with the things I talk about. So I was just sitting on this, marinating, but I was also praying about it. And then I had an opportunity drop in my lap recently that really just plugged in nicely to the whole process of what I was being shown. And it was the missing link for me to have a resource for you to be able to test these things through your own wellness assessment. So that's why I partnered with a company called Live Good, who offers a free wellness assessment. And it's a quick, powerful tool for you to see exactly what your body is needing and what your systems might be craving right here, right now. And the foundation of this is so many minerals that we are depleted of, and that our nervous system needs those to repair. We need to go through detox. We need to get enough rest. And some people aren't resting. So there are some things you could do to help you rest better. So if you're curious to learn more about what your body is speaking to you, check out the link in the description below and take that free assessment. I would love to hear more about the things you're going through, the things you're experiencing physically, and how this has affected you. So please leave a message in the comments of what you're experiencing, because as I move forward with a series that I'm going to show up and give you more specific information and how-tos and things that you can do to support your physical being, your physical state, your physical body, so you can create that foundation for your light. Put that in the comments so I can implement that into the content that I'm going to be creating around this. And most importantly, I want to thank you for being here, for showing up, for listening to this thus far. I want you to know you're not broken. You're only becoming this new version, and your body is your bridge from your higher self to your reality. And it doesn't need to carry the burden anymore of the strain and the stress that you've been under. And if this resonated anyway, please consider subscribing to this channel. It really does help support the content that I'm putting out there. And in our next episode, we're going to be talking about how you can know if you're really feeling ascension flu or if it's the start of adrenal burnout. And you'll want to make sure to listen and plug into that, because they can really mimic each other in some ways. And we'll get to the nuts and bolts of helping you identify the difference. Most importantly, I'll be giving some tips on how to reverse some of that so that you can truly start to rebuild that. And what I will say is the adrenal glands, when they get burnt out, it's a 3 to 4 month commitment just to get your body supported and allow your system to calm down. And until then, keep honoring your body, anchoring your light. This is the Embodied Ascension series that I plan to be putting together, and I'm so glad you're here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.